When I say fuel, most think I'm being figurative. I'm not. Mana is quite literally an energy which can power everything and anything. I pair it with words and movements to create astonishing effects. Katrina and Rita I blame solely on Kanye West and Jamie Foxx. I was in the Cat's Meow on Bourbon Street, drunk on mana, spiked hand grenades, and hurricanes, jamming out when the building was rocked by a blast of thunder that drowned out the music for what felt like an eternity. The music didn't stop, but the lights went into crazy strobe mode. Surprisingly, none of us were too drunk to react to what we heard. I walked outside and there it was, Godzilla. I'm fucking serious. A 50-foot lizard attacking Nola. The thunder was its roar. I took the last of my hurricane and grabbed a rack of tube shots from the shot girl standing next to me. I need these, I told her, when I pulled out my own vial of mana. Sometimes there's no time for shame or safety. God, this was gross. I can't handle the taste of mana. That's why I normally absorb it transdermally from day-to-day use. But with a creature like this, I have to choke it down. I grab a cup from the street, empty out a cigarette butt and some of what I hope is whiskey from the bottom, and empty the mana and tutor shots together. Alcohol helps the flavor, or maybe helps erase the memory. But either way, down the hatch. I've never been very lucky, and the flavor of this shit together reinforced that. Swallow the frog, I say to myself, and the shot girl looks at me oddly and says, I think it's a dinosaur, not a frog. I stare at her blankly for a moment, and my feet lift off the ground. Staring down at her, I yell, eat a frog first thing in the morning so the day can only get better. I turn and fly to the face of this monster 16 stories up. Each of his eyes are twice as big as I am. I land between them and walk over to one iris. Get out of this city! You don't belong here, I tell the monster. He roars in anger. I feel his balance wavering and look down at his minuscule arms waving to swat me from his nose. I can't help but laugh. You can't understand me, big guy. Stop with all the yelling and the dancing. I want to know why you're here. Zilla had a little spaz moment at this, but didn't respond to me. He quit flailing his tiny arms and turned his tail towards the city. A single swipe of the tail and the whole levee vanished. The ninth ward was instantly flooded without its barrier. All the news until now had been a freak weather phenomenon. It was this creature working its way to land. I leap to the head of the monster and start to gyrate. It's amazing how many popular dance moves are part of spells from different regions. The guy in the helicopter has to be seriously curious why I'm twerking on the head of a dinosaur while it attacks New Orleans. But that's an explanation he'll never receive. I sing, Saibakan Son Sim Clip, and the creature lifts up from the ground with me. It wasn't difficult at this point to move him out to the sea and away from people. Shortly after I dropped him in the middle of the Atlantic, a Virgil Tech labeled fleet of what looked like an alien military surrounded the area. I watched from a distance and saw tons of people with enhanced powers and upgraded body parts. Their equipment was like nothing I've ever seen. In a matter of minutes, they had the creature tranquilized, floating on the ocean surface with buoys, and taking samples from it. That only lasted a few minutes because a flying ship the size of Texas listed from the water. Hovering over the monster, it lifted him with what can be best described as a magnet made of light. Then took it out to the atmosphere, past me, and onto the edge of the universe in a matter of seconds. I wanted to follow, but my mana was running low, so I chose to return to the ground until I could recover my supplies. Renee isn't going to believe this happened on my vacation.